having my little cup of tea on my Instagram live today. I wanted to address a question that, maybe I'd need to put my tea down. I wanted to address a question that heaps of you guys ask me in sessions, and which I have answered, most of you that have asked me in sessions, but it comes up all the time, and I just wanted to do a little refresher, which is, how do I sell on Instagram? So there are obviously like really direct ways you can sell, like having your Instagram shop, having your Instagram linked up to your online shop, which you can do if you're with WooCommerce or with Shopify. There are ways of integrating those together. If you don't know how to do it and you feel overwhelmed, that's like one of those awesome tasks you can send out to the good old gig economy by using something like Fiverr. But even if you don't want to go that step, even if you don't even have an online shop, even if all you have is Instagram, you can still sell using Instagram. But here's the thing, you have to actually let people know that the item is for sale, how much it costs, and what they need to do in order to buy the thing off you. So what I see heaps of you guys doing, especially, I'm gonna like point out a little bit here, this is especially for the visual artists, that a lot of you guys are posting work and then maybe just saying something like, oh, this is for sale on my Etsy, or just finished this work, with no indication of, is it actually for sale? A lot of the time you guys are not saying how much it costs or explaining what the steps are. So here is an example of what you can do. Here's this new work I've done. This is what it means to me, what it might mean for you. Here are some details about the sizing. This is how much it costs. If you would like to buy it, you can comment sold in the comments. You can DM me to say that you want to sell it, or if you do have it available on a shop, put a link in your bio and just keep changing up those links. So have the link in the bio that goes directly to the item that you're wanting to sell in your shop. So be really directive with people so that they actually know, because we have like very limited steps these days to convert somebody from interested to sale. And the more steps you ask them to take, i.e. they've got to message you, they've got to ask you how much it is, then they've got to ask you what size it is, then you've got to explain how they buy, and then they say they want a different option, blah, blah, blah. All those steps, they're losing you customers. So if you want to convert the sale, you need to make it really easy, like as in one click and it's sold to that person. They know what they're looking for. Don't be afraid to put your price there. If it's too much for somebody on your Instagram post and they're like, oh my God, that's too much, I can't afford it, great. Save yourself a step, which is called they reach out to you and you tell them, and then they say, I can't afford it. Or worse than that, they assume they can't afford it, or they assume a certain price, and so they don't even bother asking you, or they're awkward about asking you because if it's a price they can't afford, they don't want to come back. Take that step out of their hands. Now, if you're feeling awkward about selling because you're like, oh, I don't want to always just be selling on Instagram. If you've got a personal account, that's good practice. Don't sell to your mates. Your mates are your mates. They're not your customers. If they're interested in knowing what you do, that's where you say, hey, if you want to know what I'm selling or what I do for my business, then follow me on my business account. But if you've got a business account, then that's for doing business. Now, we don't want to be sales post after sales post. You want to be letting people get to know you. You want to be showing them behind the scenes. You want to be giving them free value. You want to be brightening up their feed with your beautiful work or your music or your ideas. But you also want to be telling them how they can buy from you. If they love you, if they love what you do, if they love what you're making, if they love the idea of your services, you want to be able to tell them how they can work with you. This is how easy it is. If you want to work with me on stuff like this, all you've got to do is send me a DM and I'll direct you to my webpage. My pricing starts from $140 an hour, which is going to include face-to-face and follow-up session, tailored absolutely 100% for you and wherever you're at. If you're in New South Wales, you can go to the link in my bio and you can actually grab some free coaching sessions. You can also visit my website, creativeconsultancies.com, really get to know me and have a look at all my different packages on there. Okay, that's my sales post. If you don't want to work with me, you probably hung up. If you were curious, well, now you know, and you can work with me if you feel like that's something you want to do. And that's as easy as it is for you guys as well. Don't be afraid to sell to your customers, because if they're just there to kind of tire kick and see what you're doing, let some of those go. Like, lose some of those customers. If they don't want to be sold to, then they're, you know, let them go. If you've got any more questions about this, you know, pop a comment under this video, and I can unpack it more. Have a beautiful day. Isn't it just a cracker? Isn't it a cracker? It's a cracker.